Welcome to Iowa Pagan News, your informative internet radio station catering to all pagans worldwide. We are dedicated to bringing you the very best in music, news, events, and lots of fun stuff. Come tune into our new podcast at www.plrdn.podbean.com. Now, here's your host, Lou Silverwolf Williams.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you might be. Welcome back to Pagan Artist Spotlight on the National Pagan Network. And this afternoon, I'm very happily joined by my special guest, Lord Alexian. And I'm really happy to be able to get to sit down and talk with him for a little bit and get to know what he's got going on. Plus, we'll be talking about a little bit about the new Red Album project and what he's doing with that. So we're just going to get right into it. Thank you for taking time out to join me today.
My pleasure. It's always good to talk to fellow pagans like this.
Okay, so let's go. Let's just kind of kick things off here now. Tell us more about what you've been doing in the community and what brought you into the community.
The pagan community?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you got a couple of years? I'm old. I first got involved in paganism back when I was in college in the 80s. And so 88, 87, 88, I started reading and diving into books and everything. And as luck would have it, I was at Berkeley in Boston, and there was the whole Du Ban de Grâce, which is one of the first Alexandrian covens, if not the first Alexandrian coven in the United States. And I happened to be going to school with one of the initiates, and one thing led to another, and before you know it, I was apprenticed and training as an Alexandrian and being initiated into the traditional Alexandrian Wicca. So that's what started it all. I have many stories, many stories, a lot of which I share on social media. So yeah, that's how it all began. And after graduation, I moved to Florida. I'm in the Orlando, Florida area now. And I founded my coven, Twisted Oak, back in 1993.
Wow.
And we're still going strong.
Oh, that's good to hear. I mean, anytime you've come across a coven that has withstood not only time, but also things that happen that within the pagan community and the community around us. It's nice to see that you're still up and running.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, we're very, very healthy coven. We love each other. We practice, we worship. Sometimes when all the chaos is happening, we ignore it and we're worshiping the gods.
I was say, because not many covens can actually say that they've been around that long.
Yeah. Somebody pointed out the fact that I was one of the oldest covens in Florida. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't keep up with that stuff. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. Mm-hmm. What matters to me is the fellowship, the worship, and the magic. And we concentrate on doing our thing and training new people, up and through and out. Mm-hmm. So it works.
Very cool. So exactly how big is your coven right now?
Yeah, traditionally it's 13 members. We have, a coven is an organic being. It grows, it shrinks, it grows, it shrinks. It kind of has a heartbeat or a breath to it. And right now we're on an expansion again. We had a hiving happen. So several members of our coven left to form the new baby coven. And so now we're filling up those empty spots with new members. And at the moment, I think we only have 2 seats open. but it's a really long process to get in. And that's the secret right there. If you're starting a coven, don't just let anybody in. You know, make sure that they're truthful to their word, truthful to their heart. And I'm from Missouri originally. You know what they say?
Mhm.
Show me.
Right.
Show me. You know, prove it. So we put them through their steps, and it takes 6 months to a year just to get accepted into this coven. So it's served us very well.
Oh, that is good because, I mean, I don't really, I can't really say that because with the groups that I have, I don't really look at them as a coven, so to say, but I do wind up vetting people to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they're going to be conducive and positive to the group.
Right.
'Cause-
And it's not a, I want to be very clear, because I can already feel people going, oh, doorkeeper, elitist, you know. No,
no,
that's not what it's about. We love everybody, but not everybody is meant to be a priest or priestess. And not everybody is the right timing for them. I have many stories about that too. You know, I've had people come up to me and be like, I want the power. And, you know,
right.
big red flag, right? That person came back. That was an actual happening. And that person came back to me many years later, didn't even recognize them. And they were like, you don't remember me, do you? And I'm like, I'm sorry, where did I meet you? And they told me, and I was like, oh man, you don't even look the same. He goes, that's because I was on drugs. And because of you saying no, it made me reflect on my life and get help and clean my shit up. There you go. So
Yeah,
sometimes no is the healing word that the person needs to hear.
that is true in many cases.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
and I think the reason why we do what we do is because we want the best for our members. We want the best so that, um, or we want the best experience. We want to show people that they are in a good space, that they can learn, that they can grow, and to be a part of something really positive.
absolutely. Absolutely. And when you achieve that, it's such a peaceful balance, and it's just beautiful. And, you know, as an elder now, older person sitting back, sometimes I just look and like, they're doing everything, you know, everything that I had to do myself in the beginning. I don't have to do anything. They already know what to do. They're doing it, you know,
Mhm.
and that just is an incredible feeling to sit back and watch and know that that legacy is being passed on, you know, the one that was given to me, I'm passing it on, the flame. Keepers of the flame, love you, Morgana.
Cool. So now let's get into what got you started on your musical path.
That's a great question. So, I was raised on a farm in southern Missouri, never went to church. When I was very young, I would say 4. Yeah, I was 4. That's right. I was 4. My aunt Betty told my mother, you need to take those heathen children to church. So my mother, being the youngest of 12, said, okay. And she dressed us up and she took us to church. At 4 years old, I thought I was going to school. I thought, this is elementary school. I'm at school. This is so cool, you know, and I'm meeting other kids and that there's a teacher. It was Sunday school, right? And I remember them giving me a coloring book. Uh, I apologize if you've heard me say this story before in other interviews, but it's such a funny story. It's true. They gave me a coloring book and they gave me a purple crayon, and they told me to color this long-haired man in the coloring book purple. And I was like really confused even at 4 years old. First of all, It's a hippie. Okay. 70s in southern Missouri, that was a hippie. And hippies are bad, right? And furthermore, purple? People aren't purple. And the lady was like, it's going to be okay, honey. Just color them purple, right? And later we found out that hippie's name was Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday school's over. I get whisked away to the front congregation for the main thing. And they said, today's a very special day because we have a guest here and he's going to, do something special. And so he went up on the dais and sat at this desk. I'd never seen a piano before. I thought it was a desk. And from the side view, you couldn't see the keys. You could just see the side of the piano. So it looked like a desk to me as a 4-year-old. Mm-hmm. And he went boom and he started playing. And my brain just went. I mean, that was it. That was the moment of ignition for me. Was in Baptist church at 4 years old, first time at church, and I heard a piano, and that music was just like, I could see it in the air, I could hear it, I could feel it. It was just, I had to have one. So for the next 4 years, I asked my parents for a piano religiously, every birthday, Christmas, everything. And finally, at 8 years old, they were like, this child's not giving up. We better get him a piano before he drives us nuts. So they did. They bought me my first piano, which I still have here in Orlando, here in my house. And I started piano lessons at 8 years old. I took piano for 10 years, classical piano. I was, of course, involved in drama and band and choir in high school. Graduated from high school, went to Berklee College of Music, triple majored, went for 6 years, studied voice at college level, graduated, moved to Orlando, and here we are. So that's how I got into music.
Well, and I will say that Missouri Baptists are no joke, man.
Hardcore.
They are hardcore, man.
Brimstone and fire.
I've run onto a few of them because my brother had lived in Missouri for a few years. And so, I mean, we made the rounds in the local area where he was living. And yeah, that's no joke down there.
And I remember in high school being I wasn't a Bible thumper. I was there for the music because I did become the church organist. I was the church organist for 4 years, from 14 to 18. And then I went to college. But, I was spiritual. And I remember in high school standing in front of the congregation, telling the congregation that I was going to dedicate my life and my music to spirituality, to Jesus, to worship, right? Mm-hmm. Well, all that came true. It's just that it's not only Jesus, it's the gods and the goddess, and you know what I'm saying? Right. So I became pagan, obviously, but I still believe all is one and one is all, and I actually had an experience with the light at one point. That's a whole nother story. No, I did not die. I did not have a near-death experience. It was a whole nother thing, but I did see the light, and it's all in there. It's all in there. It's all one thing. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. We got to love each other. That's what the point is. Yeah.
Well, it's just like me with having my Native American spirituality background.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that goes hand in hand with the pagan path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's fundies in every religion, right? So that's an extreme. The pendulum has swung too far in one direction. You got to find your balance. Everything in life is about balance. I don't care if you're talking about body, mind, or spirit. It's all in balance.
Yep. And we realized that with the roundtable discussion that we had done last year between myself and Ed Sott and one of his people from his coven and a couple of others, and because we got into a really deep discussion about mind, body, and spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and we started getting really deep into it. Next thing we know, video goes haywire, audio goes haywire, and is we chalked it up to universe saying, "Nope, you're not going there right now."
Totally believe it. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a very happy-go-lucky guy. I rarely get angry. If I do get angry, look out. Get out of the way, because I am an Aries and it's very explosive. But I'm talking like once a year, right?
Oh,
See,
that's
I have a
good.
very long fuse, but I have a very short fuse for electronics and things. And so when my computer decides to give me grief, I get very frustrated very quickly, and it gets worse. And Victor, my husband, picked up on this. And now, and I kid you not, this is a true story. When I get frustrated and my computer goes crazy, he gets the incense out and starts smudging me in the computer, and it starts working again every single time. So yes, we do have energy around us. It's obvious. We study this stuff. But
Mm.
yes, it affects electronic equipment. Of course
Oh
it
yeah.
does. Yeah. So calm yourself down and your computer might work better.
Yeah, yeah. I had incident at work that yeah, I still claim it to be accident, even though I pretty much. Hmm, I had a very short fuse that afternoon, and my coworker was not helping matters any. So granted, I turned around, I focused all that energy directly at his PC. Next thing I know, bing! Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's real.
I'm like,
Experienced it many times. Yeah,
so it can happen. Hmm, People don't understand it, but to those of us who do, that's the reason why you have to keep that in check.
absolutely.
Okay, so um, I've got your video here that I want to play for everybody. This is
Oh,
Cool to Be
cool.
a Witch 2.0. So, what's the story behind this one?
Well, first of all, the original song is from the original album, which is a Boogie Woogie Blues. If you've never heard it, it's a lot of piano work in that one. And it was on my original album, The Mother, the Magic, the Music, from 1992. And that song started because I was hanging out with some friends who were also Wiccan, and we were laughing and joking and eating. It was over food
Mhm.
and maybe a glass of wine or two. And somebody said, "It's so cool to be a witch," and the songwriter and me went, "Bing!" Song title. And I just stood up right in the moment, went to the piano, and for some reason, when I put my hands on the piano, a boogie woogie came out. So I started writing Cool to Be a Witch. And meanwhile, the peanut gallery over there is just cackling at the top of their, voices. And I thought, well, I think I'm onto something. So that's where Cool to Be a Witch was birthed. And then it made it on the first album. Well, and that was 1991. And it was recorded and released in 92. In 2010, I decided to redo it as a dance song and give it a dance beat. I also changed it from a major key to a minor key because a lot of dance music is in a minor key.
Mhm.
And that's why there's the 2.0. So,
Interesting.
and then we filmed the video. and we had a blast doing that. By the way, that video is filmed in our dear friends Ron and Sally's house, who are also original founding members of my Coven, Twisted Oak. And that house is an old house. I think it's over 100 years old now.
Oh, wow.
That was filmed in. Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot. You wouldn't believe that walking into an old house like that it has stories of its own to tell.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're renovating it and fixing the things, and they've removed some walls and things to, get rid of termites and mold and such. And they've found, little time capsules that were buried in the house, newspapers and stuff like that. So it's been really cool.
Nice. Okay, let's take a look at this video.
Alexian update complete.
When I'm flying through the air on my broom, I like to zoom down the chimney to my living room. I hop right off and I begin to cook. I toil and I trouble from a big black book. It's easy these days with the microwaves that be. It's cool to be a witch in this century. Yeah, it's cool to be it's cool to be wow, 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 wow. What a world, what a world. It's cool to be just hang out with me. You'll see it's cool to be a witch in this century. When those unsightly wards begin to appear and get in the way of your secret career. Here's some advice from me to you. Annihilate them, macerate them, whatever you do. Pop over to the corner drug and let me tell. They got some stuff there, you know it works so well. Yeah, it's cool to be wow, 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 wow. It's cool to be what a world, what a world. It's cool to be just hang out with me. You'll see it's cool to be a witch in this century. Yeah, go, go, go on the broomstick. Go, go, go on the broom. Go, go, go on the broomstick. Go, go, go on the broom. Go, go, go on the broomstick. Go, go, go on the broom. Now if you see us walking down that long boulevard, introduce yourself, it's not very hard. We're the ones with the smiles on our face, the funky jewelry crystals, there are cards in a case. We'll try and help you however we can.
To find some peace of mind.
Good job. It's cool to be it's cool to be wow, 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 wow. It's cool to be it's cool to be
What a
nothing will cure. This is what we must endure. But have you seen our new cars today? Hybrid rooms, and we're headed your way. Yeah, it's cool to be up. It's cool to be up. Wow, 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 wow. Cool to be up. It's cool to be up.
What a world, what a world.
It's cool to be up. Just hang out with me. You'll see it's cool to be a witch in this century. Well, if you learn anything about witches today, just know we're not bad. We're just stereotyped that way.
What a world, what a world, what a world.
That was a cool video, and yeah, you can definitely tell you were younger back then too.
Oh yeah, that was 2010. It's been 13 years since we did that. I'm dying laughing because I haven't watched it in a while, and I forgot about the part where Kendra, she's the one that does What a World, and she's the one that plays the guitar solo on the broom. She's a comedic actress, and she's hysterical. She just kills me. But there's one point, if you watch the video again, where they're making the brew to turn themselves young. She tastes the brew and she goes, ew. She spits it into the cup and hands it to the next person. She's a nut. I love you, Kendra. Oh my goodness. And Sally, of course, the young, the dark-haired one that's shorter, she's a trained clown, so she has all of those movements and stuff. And our dear friend Melissa as well, who was like the sexy witch. And we had such fun, although you couldn't tell it. We were dying of heat because they don't have well, at that point they didn't have AC, but in a couple of rooms, and we didn't want the AC running in the background anyway. So we were sweating so much the makeup was running off, and I was telling everybody, Pat, don't rub, and we filmed all night long until like midnight. And then in makeup, not the costumes, but in makeup, we were so tired. We went out to a restaurant here in Orlando that's unfortunately gone. It was called Bananas, and it was a drag queen restaurant. So all the waitresses were drag queens, and every 15 minutes they did like one song, and the lights would turn off and the spotlights would come on. It was so much fun. But even we walked in and they were like, oh my goodness, because her makeup's all running and stuff. Good times.
Oh man, that sounds like it. Even I would have enjoyed being just watching it come together. I mean,
Oh, one of the things, actually, I should talk about my community. I just started a community on my website at alexianmusic.com called Coven of Cool Cats. And I can talk about the name and how that came about if you want. But inside the community, I'm sharing bloopers, outtakes from all of these films and videos I've done, and they're pretty funny. There's this one blooper where in Listen to the Wind, which of course is a beautiful spiritual song, the young lady who is finding herself and connecting with the goddess within, she's standing with her arms out and the wind's blowing her robe, and it's just like gorgeous. And she's standing on the edge of a river here in Florida, and she's like, what is that, Louie? Is that a croc? Peace out. And she just takes off running. It scared her. And I'm like, well, first of all, we don't have crocodiles in Florida. We have alligators. And second of all, it was a good 40 feet away. It wasn't going to jump out of the water that far at you. You were safe. You're okay. But I got the blooper. Is that a croc?
I'm out here.
There are so many outtakes, so many goofy things that have happened during filming.
Cool. All right, we're going to take a quick station timeout for commercial, and then we're going to be right back with more with Alexian, and we're going to be talking more about the new album that's coming out, the Red Album.
The
And,
Red Album, yeah.
There's some important information that we both want to share. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Sister Moon, Apothecary and More is a collaboration of local island witches bringing you handcrafted tools for ritual, amazing apothecary, custom vinyl work, merchandise, and so much more. But we are not just an online store. We are a sisterhood, a platform, and a voice for everything that is magical. Join us for our famous Tarot Tuesdays from 11 to 4 Eastern Standard Time for a discounted reading with our amazing in-house intuitive reader and priestess, Wolf Spirit Energy, Beverly Oberlin. You can find us on Facebook at Sister Moon Store or on the web at sistermoon.shop. So fly on over and stop in for a spell.
All right, we are back with Alexian. Now, with the new project that is, I would call still in the works, because basically it's not due out until June. And so I know that things are still being worked on, but yet the message that is behind this project is so important.
Yes, absolutely. So I was approached to be part of the Red Album, and I was like, what's that? Right? And it is this genius idea of bringing together pagan musicians in protest, really, of Roe versus Wade being overridden, and to be pro, reproductive rights. So I was like, I would be honored to be part of such a project. And so we got together, and Elaine, who's spearheading and leading us through it, she's amazing. Like, I keep telling her she's hurting a bunch of cats, and she does such a wonderful job doing that. And at this point, they just officially announced it March 1st, which is why we scheduled this interview after March 1st. So it is announced. My song is written, recorded, and already mastered. Actually, I might be able to. Can I play things from this side? I've never been on this side of the coin.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Because I have a 10-second clip of my song. I just realized I could share that. Let me find it real quick on my computer. But basically, the album, all proceeds to the album are going to charities that support reproductive rights, which include the NAF and Elevated Access. So it's a project, it's a labor of love. We're putting all our energy into it to raise funds to give to these charities. So it's an incredible cause. Right now, it just went into the fundraising mode. Blanked out. Went into the fundraising phase. That's the word I'm looking for. And there's a GoFundMe, which you can find online. It's also on the Facebook page. And amazingly, in the first 24 hours, we raised over $6,000 or something like that, just in the first 24 hours. So it's going very well. It will be released on CD. There will also be digital downloads, and not official. I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about this or not, but we're kicking a can around about possibly even having LP vinyl. So we'll see if that manifests. I think it depends on how much money is raised, because it's expensive vinyl, very expensive. So,
and one of the organizations that part of the money is being donated to is basically, I don't know if it's an actual transportation company that is helping to transport women out of areas that don't allow in, and transport them to places where that they can go and not,
Yeah,
subject to legal repercussions.
absolutely. I mean, it's crazy to think about this. It almost sounds like the underground, railroad, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
from slavery times.
Yeah, it does.
It's nuts, that we're in 2023 and we have to do things like this to get people health care. So it's just beyond me. But how do I play the clip?
Let's see.
Present, perhaps?
Yeah, do present.
Share screen. I think I can do it that way.
Yep. There you
Okay,
go.
so let me set this up. And while I set this up, I will talk about it real quick. I know that's going to... Okay, so my song that I did is called Born of Crime. And first of all, I'm a man. And second of all, I'm gay. So who am I to talk about this stuff, right? So I tasked myself to talk to women. And I talked to a lot of women. And I got both sides of the coin. Not everybody was in agreement, right? But an interesting thing happened. I noticed a thread that ran through all women's conversations. And that was, no matter what they believed, the right to choose was agreed upon by everyone. And so I think that it's very important that in our minds, we need to separate those things apart. There's the act of, and there's the right to choose. Exactly. And what we're trying to do is protest the fact that the right to choose was taken away. Okay.
Right.
Literally telling a free person in a supposedly free country, you can't do that, right? To your own body. That just does not sound right. So anyway, I decided that I needed to go to an extreme. And that is, what if? And I hate what ifs because I don't live by what ifs. I always tell people, screw what ifs, go through the fear.
Right.
But in this case, I had to go to a what if. And I thought, what if a young lady was raped? Right? So the first verse is about her being raped. Like it starts right out the gate. She is in the act of being raped in the first verse. So it's very heavy. It's very sad and it's a very depressing song. And the second verse is about her visiting the doctor's office. And she already knows what doc spies, suicide pierced her mind is one of the lyrics, right? Because that also happens. A lot of people get pregnant. They're not allowed to get the baby aborted, and boom, they take their own life in the process because they're not mentally ready to handle such a thing after being raped, right? Third verse is she's dying in childbirth because that happens. There are women, I did research, there are women that are raped, they carry the baby, and they die in childbirth. Okay. So the title of the song is Born of Crime. And this is my 30-second teaser that was given to me from the mastering. So this is open. And now I do this. Bear with. I got to click all the right buttons. There it is. I got it. Share audio. This should work, hopefully. Let me know if it doesn't.
Yep, there it is.
Let's see if you hear it.
Born of crime, look away. Pay no mind, take her rights. Don't touch mine. Roe versus Wade. Human
So that's all you get. It's very short, I know, but they've limited us to 30 seconds. So the song came out better than I ever hoped for. I decided to go simple with just piano, voice, and cello, and it really works. So,
well, I know that this is in support of all women across the country.
absolutely. In
And,
fact, the world.
in fact, all over the world. And I know that there's going to be some that are going to say that it's going to trigger some people, but the main message that I know that comes behind it is in support of all women.
It's in support of women, absolutely. And like I said, we have to separate the right to choose. You know, it's a right. It's a right for women to do what they want with their own bodies, right? Especially if they've been raped, right? So I'm behind it. I'm in support of it, and if you don't agree, that's okay. It's okay. That's why we live in a free country, right? But I am determined to be a part of the project and talk about it. It is a hard subject to talk about. It is sad. It is depressing, but it needs to be said. You know.
Yep. When I was
if you're silent, they win.
Exactly. Yeah. When I was approached by Ginger on this to interview all the artists on the album, I mean, that meant the world to me. Because I love being a part of projects, and especially something like this that is very important. It has a critical message that needs to be conveyed, and it's something that I'm very much in support of, and will continue to be so. And I just wish that, that I'm glad that this came about now, and so that I can start getting the interviews done, so that we can talk about this album and the messages that are conveyed, so that it really gives people the energy to want to listen to it.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say to kind of like a soft approach to it instead of just the album coming out and going bam, right?
Right.
Yeah. So when we talk about it in advance, it opens minds for them to listen to the album with an open mind, right? So I haven't heard any of the other music yet, so I'm just as excited to hear the other songs as you are.
Yeah, I haven't either. So
yeah. So it's gonna be a big mix of different styles of music for sure. But I'm excited to hear everybody else's take as well, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. So
all right,
that's pretty much the Red album. It's gonna ramp up until the release, which is, don't quote me on this, but I think it's June 24th. It's in June. I know that for sure.
Yep.
And then after that, there'll be all sorts of things happening.
Cool. Okay, so I know that I've been posting up your website, and I've also got your Lord Alexian Facebook page scrolling across the bottom here. So anytime people want to reach out to you and talk with you, just let them know the best ways to get in touch.
Yeah. So my email address is lordalexian@gmail.com. By the way, I always like to say I had to use the Lord That's my title in the craft, but I go by Alexian. So please just call me Alexian. But I had to go with the Lord on social media because Alexian was already taken, and I didn't want to be Alexian 1234. So I used my title Lord, so it became Lord Alexian. You can find me everywhere on the web, all the social media places as Lord Alexian. But my email address is lordalexian@gmail.com. So you can email me directly there. And of course, find out all sorts of stuff about me at my website, alexianmusic.com. And if you are interested in, learning more from me magically, musically, I'm going to be teaching courses in music as well for pagans. So think pagan piano lessons, pagan voice lessons, music theory, songwriting, all the things that I do, I'm going to turn around and make video courses out of. This is all in the works, already started. So that's all coming soon at alexianmusic.com as well. Oh, and one more thing, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I am going to start hosting other pagan musicians for concerts on my website, alexianmusic.com. And I'm looking for sponsors. So if you own a metaphysical store or a pagan service of any sort, and you'd like to sponsor other pagan musicians to do concerts through my website, we would love to have you as a sponsor and put your information all over the social media marketing and promotion, as well as during the concert. You can even have a commercial play during the concert for your business, similar to what Earl did today. And also, after the concert, you'll go on our showcase for sponsors, and you'll continue to get traffic from my website to yours. So email me about that if you're interested in sponsorship. And of course, I'm looking for the other pagan musicians to reach out to me as well if they'd like to perform a concert through my website and have me do all the promotion and marketing for you.
Oh, I can guarantee you that you'll definitely have musicians reaching out to you on this.
I look forward to it. I'm working on all that after this interview, actually, doing the programming.
Excellent. All right, Alexian, it was good to get to spend time with you, sir. And
likewise.
We'll definitely be keeping in touch and look forward to hearing more.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Blessed be.
Blessed be. You've been listening to another edition of Pagan Artist Spotlight on the National Pagan Network. And we've been talking with Lord Alexian today and getting to know more about him, his projects, and what he's got going on. And it was really fun getting to listen to the video as well. That was enjoyable. So if you want to learn more about Lord Alexian, feel free to reach out to him anytime on his website, on his Facebook page, via email. And if you have questions for me later on, you can email me at earl@iapnradio.net or at iowapagannews@gmail. And as usual, I've got more interviews coming up covering the Red Album. And also we're going to be talking tomorrow with Brandy Coker McGee, who is a bone thrower. And I was supposed to talk with her this afternoon, but she had to reschedule for tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Central. So be sure to tune in for my interview with Brandy Coker McGee. She is a protege of Atalanta, who is also a bone thrower. And I've become good friends with both of them. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for that. Other than that, we're going to say good afternoon and pleasant journeys, everyone. I'll be seeing everyone again tomorrow, and then with more in the next coming weeks with the Red Album and a lot more. So stay tuned. Have a great day. We are out of here for the afternoon.
Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. All shows are recorded and available for download at plrdn.podbean.com. All rights are reserved and may not be replayed without written permission by IAPN Radio Management. Come join us at our new group, IAPN Radio on Facebook, where you can be kept up to date for future broadcasts. Pleasant journeys, everyone.